Hey guys, and welcome back to our USA team, and today's the big day. Today it is finally here. We can really say the World Cup is about to begin. We're about to have the group stage draw for the World Cup. It's an exciting time. Hopefully we get drawn into a more positive group that might give us a chance to actually qualify for the knockout rounds. That's my goal. I think my goal is just to get to the knockout rounds. I'm not sure if we could really get further than the first knockout round. We never know. Things might go nicely for us, but that is kind of my goal for now, just to get out the group stage. If we lose at the group stage, it won't be a disaster, because, you know, based upon how well we've been playing so far in the qualifying, and obviously in real life, it's better than obviously what's happened in real life, so we can take that at least with some positivity. But our world ranking has gone down to 27th. Over those last two games. Portugal scoring lots of goals against us, even with the win against Greece, did not help our position in the world rankings. If a quick look here, you can see Brazil number 1, Germany, Chile number 3. Obviously, you've got some very good players there at Chile at the moment. Argentina, Belgium, Portugal, still in 6th, Italy, Colombia. England have gone up to 9th. Poland's up in 10th. Croatia, France is down in 12th. Mexico, Uruguay, Switzerland, UK. Spain is down in 17th. 17th. We were around that position not that long ago. Mexico being 13th. That's the top one from North America. Then we've got Austria, Denmark, Bosnia, the Netherlands, Wales. So Costa Rica are ahead of us in 24th, which is a shame. Ghana, Turkey, us, Romania, Iceland, and Venezuela. That's the top 30. But for today's part, obviously we're going to have a live look at the World Cup group stage draw. I'm nervous. But before we do that, we're going to look at the different qualifying places around the world, see what teams did get to the World Cup, what teams didn't get to the World Cup, and maybe how close it was. I've not really had a look at this just yet myself, so I have no idea either. So of course, North America we'll begin with. As we do remember, we did, let's go for the group stage. Oh, no, not the group stage. You don't want to go for the group stage stages. Okay. Playoffs. 5th round. Okay, so the 5th round. As we remember, Mexico did come top of the group with 25 points. They only lost 1 game and drew 1 game, so Mexico did really well. Then Costa Rica, and then we did come after them by 1 point. Though we did have a good goal difference. We did lose 2 games against Mexico and Costa Rica, and drew against Honduras, which really affected the team, I think. We should have really won that game. Trinidad did get to the playoffs. Honduras and Panama did not go any further. How did Trinidad do in the playoffs? Should we look at that now? Or should we look at that later? I didn't actually look. I guess you guys just saw it. So yeah, let's go have a quick look then. So Trinidad came up against Saudi Arabia. And New Zealand came up against Colombia. Trinidad lost in the end against Saudi Arabia. That's a good result for Saudi Arabia. 52nd in the world. They've been to the World Cup before. I've seen them there before. But they're not usually a big team. New Zealand losing to Colombia. I mean, Colombia is 8th in the world. I feel kind of bad for New Zealand, who are currently sat in 121st in the world. But it can't be helped. They've been to the World Cup before. I think they came to the World Cup last time. But sadly, they're going to miss out this time. And Trinidad, poor. Only 3 teams from North America this year. Only 3 teams. That's a shame, but we need to go to the other places. Let's go have a quick look around the world. We'll first look, I think, at South America. Seeing as, we're going to go from North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, etc. Let's go look at the international competitions. Here we go. And let's see. So, if we have a quick look at the league table, we can see here Brazil were quite far ahead when it comes to qualifying. So, Brazil were number 1 in the league. Then Argentina came 2nd, obviously very different from real life, where they only just managed to scrape into qualifying. Chile also did quite well, only just behind Argentina. Uruguay a little bit behind them, but still qualified. And Colombia only got 1 point less than Uruguay, and so they went to the playoffs and managed to win. Paraguay, Ecuador. Paraguay, nowhere close. Yeah, Paraguay, all the others came nowhere close, really. 8 points behind Colombia. Poor for them. Icardi, and Rondon both got top goal scorer. Poor Rondon. Venezuela. He's a good player, but Even if he's the drawn top goal scorer, it wasn't going to help him. Higuain had the highest average rating. Neymar, Sanchez, kind of players you expect. Though Messi not being there is a surprise, but he did get on the top assists. Clean sheets, okay, perfect. That's all we need to see from there then. Then let's have a quick look at Europe. This is going to be the big one. There's a lot of teams that qualify from Europe, and of course it's a very big group stage, so this is going to be a lot of teams to go through. It's not just one table like in South America. So let's go through this right now. Group A, France managed to qualify automatically. Then the Netherlands went to the playoffs. Now, we obviously don't know what happened in the playoffs. We're going to check that in a second. Sweden missed out. Obviously, in real life, they did beat Netherlands to get there. But this time, the Netherlands managed to get that. Belarus, Bulgaria. Luxembourg got 1 point. Poor Luxembourg. Then we got Portugal. Managed to go through. Wow, they won every game. That is pretty good. Portugal won every game. No wonder they destroyed us. Whoever arranged that friendly, that was a ridiculous friendly. The Switzerland managed to get to that group stage. Hungary, Latvia, Faroe Islands, Andorra miss out. Germany managed to win their group, all winning every single game. Did France lose a game? France did lose a game against the Netherlands. And Netherlands only lost 1 game as well against France. But Germany managed to get through without losing or drawing a single game. Northern Ireland came second, but they missed out. And Norway, actually, they both got 18 points. And Czech Republic, but they all miss out because I guess they were the lowest team in second place. Poor Northern Ireland. They just missed out. They managed to just scrape through ahead of Norway and Czech Republic. San Marino did not get a single point. Minus 29. Sad day for them. Serbia managed to just get through ahead of Ireland by 1 point. And Austria. And Wales falling behind. Poor Wales. But Ireland managed to get through to the playoffs. Then we got Poland going ahead of Denmark. So they managed to just qualify for the World Cup just. Denmark getting through to the playoffs. England did not lose a game, but they drew 2 games. So they went through. Scotland managed to get to the playoffs. Slovakia and Slovenia just falling behind them. Italy managed to go ahead of Spain in qualifying. No wonder Spain have gone down in the rankings. And Spain went to the playoffs. Albania did a very good... Well, I guess, compared to Israel, Macedonia, they're doing quite the same, actually. Then we had Belgium going through. They did not lose a single game. Neither did... Actually, Spain didn't lose a single game. That... I feel very bad for Spain there. But Bosnia managed to get through to the playoffs. Greece didn't even get to the playoffs this year. So maybe that's why we beat them. Ukraine just beating Croatia by 1 goal difference to get to the World Cup. So Croatia have to go to the playoffs, but Turkey misses out. Iceland, nowhere near. Poor Iceland. Ronaldo getting the top goal scorer. Lewandowski and Gudetti. Some good players there. But what happened in the playoffs? Yeah, second place teams, Northern Ireland was the bottom one. 2 away from most of the other teams. And then in the playoffs, we had Switzerland versus Ireland. Switzerland won 3-0 on aggregate. So Ireland have missed out on the World Cup. Does that mean so far England are the only British team to go to the World Cup? Yeah, they are. Oh, that's a shame. I always like seeing the other British teams do well at the World Cup. But Switzerland is a good team. And then Denmark beat out Spain to go to the World Cup. 5-1 on aggregate. Wow, so Spain did not lose a single game in qualifying, and they lost both of their games, basically, against Denmark. Good job, Denmark. They've gone up to 19th now. Wow. And then the Netherlands lost to Bosnia. Very good job there, Bosnia. Everyone knows the Netherlands is not as good as they used to be maybe 5 years ago. Yeah, maybe 5, 7, 10 years ago. The Netherlands has not been as good in recent years. But Bosnia managed to go through ahead of them, ranked 20th right now. Bosnia do have some good players, though. Žeko, obviously, a lot of people know his name. He's one that always stands out. Then Croatia versus Scotland. Scotland got knocked out by Croatia 4-1. Croatia, though, again, like Bosnia, one of those teams in sort of Eastern Europe that has lots of good players and can always surprise you. Modric, of course, being the standout name probably for most people. So there we go. That was Europe. A couple of, really overall, not that surprising. Most of the big teams made it, But like the Spain, I guess, is kind of the biggest one. I guess it's kind of the biggest shock so far in qualifying. But we all know Italy in real life didn't make it to the World Cup. So actually, it's like Spain and Italy just swapped places. So it's very similar to real life. Let's now have a quick look at Africa. So Africa, who has made it from Africa? Africa get quite a few teams to go to the World Cup because, you know, there's a lot of nations in Africa. And a lot of African nations do quite well at the World Cup sometimes. Has to be said. Not obviously winning. No African team sadly has won. There's always a few African teams in the knockout stages doing well. Ghana did well a few years ago. Senegal, of course, in 2002. That was probably the one that stands out for me. But we can see here in the first group, Tunisia have gone through to the World Cup. Not really a surprise there. Tunisia have some good players. The other teams there not really stand out. We got Algeria going through instead of Cameroon and Nigeria. Very good result there for Algeria. Algeria, 34th at the moment. They do have some good players, but that was a tough group, you have to say. Cameroon and Nigeria, and even Zambia. Zambia in recent years has actually not done that badly. So that's actually quite a tough group. So good for Algeria. In the third group, we got Mali going through over the Ivory Coast. Wow, some big, traditional African teams not getting to the World Cup this year. Good job for Mali, though. And then in Group 4, Senegal. I'm just talking about Senegal. They've come to the World Cup again. I like seeing Senegal. I don't know, I just have great memories of the 2002 World Cup where I think they beat France, which was just glorious to see because obviously France won the previous World Cup. So I don't know why. It just felt really good to see Senegal, who were kind of seen as one of the biggest outsiders of the World Cup, beating them, and then going on to do having quite a good tournament. South Africa didn't make it through. I guess it's a shame for them. Egypt made it through. I like seeing Egypt go to the World Cup because in recent World Cups, Egypt have not gone, but they've actually got a really good team, and they do well in the African Nations Cup. So it's always a surprise not to see them go. Ghana getting knocked out as well. So quite a few big teams from Africa not making it this year. But now let's go look at Asia. Who's made it from Asia? I mean, we could probably guess who's made it. It tends to be the similar types of teams coming from Asia. There's a few really big teams in Asia. So let's go for the final stage, all groups. Okay, so South Korea made it, which is what you expect. Iran made it just ahead of China, actually, by 2 points. That would have upset the Chinese a lot. Syria did not do as well as in real life, but Iran has made it through. Good for them. 37th in the world. South Korea currently ranked 49th. Wow. That's lower than I expected. 2 losses. 2 losses for Iran. Okay. Down there in Group B, Australia made it through, which you expect, and Japan. Those 2 teams are kind of the 2 you expect to make it through. That and South Korea. Those 3 do very well. Saudi Arabia, they made it through to the playoffs. Iraq. Yeah, Thailand, actually, I didn't know was in the group stage. That's good for them. They don't tend to do very well. And they didn't do well in qualifying, but still. Okay, good for them. And as we know, Saudi Arabia has made it. Oh, so they played against China in the playoff. Oh, poor China. 3-2 on aggregate. So they won the first game 1-0 away from home. Then they went home and they lost 3-1. Ooh. That would have hurt China. Okay, then we got, obviously, Oceania. We know that New Zealand made it through. Let's see if it was close. Why did I click on that? Damn. Let's see if it was any close at all, or if it's just an absolute dominance. Oh, there's no qualifying? What? How come I can't see the qualifying? Does it just go from the Nations Cup? Maybe it's just whoever wins the Nations Cup goes to the playoffs. That could be it. Papua New Guinea came second. Well, I guess we'll say that. World Cup qualifier final. There you go. Okay, so World Cup qualifying final. So there we go. We now know all the teams at the World Cup. It's time. We've been placed in the second pot, so that's not too bad. Here we go. So in the first pot, we've got Argentina, Belgium, Brazil, Chile, Germany, Italy, Portugal, Russia. Gonna have to say, I want Russia. Just gonna throw that out there. I want Russia over all those teams. Second pot, we got Australia, Costa Rica. So we're not going to get any of these teams. Iran, Japan, Mexico. So we can't be drawn against Mexico. That's good. Saudi Arabia and South Korea. Then the third pot, We've got Algeria, Bosnia, Colombia, Egypt. Ooh, Colombia. Ooh, I don't want to get Colombia. Mali, Senegal, Tunisia, or Uruguay. Definitely would rather have one of the African teams. Yeah, out of those teams. Maybe like Tunisia or Mali, possibly. I don't know. They're all tough teams. That's the problem. The World Cup, you know, people always say at the World Cup, you know, you got these smaller teams to go to the World Cup, and like, oh, do those teams deserve to go? They're too small. They're from these other parts of the world that, you know, when New Zealand qualify and stuff, you're like, oh, they're not as big. But a lot of small teams sometimes really surprise you and do really well. And all these teams deserve to be here. That's how I always see it. Croatia, Denmark, we'll be drawing against England or France. And Poland, Serbia, Switzerland, Ukraine. That's a horrible pot. Okay. I'm not feeling good. But let's begin. Let's draw the first team. Russia, of course. We all know that. The host always goes into pot A. Italy, Chile, Belgium, Portugal, Argentina, Brazil, and Germany. Okay, so this is our pot. Please give me Russia. Please give us Russia. And here we go. Ah, Australia get Russia. Okay, who would we want next? None of them. That bottom four, in fact, is probably really bad. I would rather have one of these three. If I had to choose, and probably Chile or Belgium. But let's see. Italy. Mexico. Ooh, that would be a great game to watch. But Chile, can we get Chile? No, Saudi Arabia. I want Belgium. Please give me Belgium. Ah, Costa Rica get Belgium. Okay, so we're going to be against a big team. Don't be Portugal. And again, Portugal's probably the easier one out of the three. Because those three are ridiculously good. Okay, Iran. Who are we going to get? And we get Argentina. United States against Argentina. Not what I had in mind, but at least we get to watch Messi win. I guess that's nice. South Korea, Brazil, and Japan and Germany. Here we go for the next pot. Russia, Australia, and Uruguay. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Italy, Mexico, and Mali. Oh, I wanted Mali, but we can't have. I mean, we haven't had anything so far. That's good. Chile, Saudi Arabia, and Algeria. Okay, so two African teams. Oh no, why am I saying African? They're Asian. Sorry, I lost my mind just there for a second. Belgium, Costa Rica, and Colombia. Ooh, that looks like a good group. Because none of those teams are like the top. They're not, you know, Brazil, Germany, Portugal, Argentina. But they're really good teams that a lot of people talk about, you know, in recent days. There's some good young players and stuff. So that could be a good group. I don't know who will get out of that group, actually. I guess I'd put Colombia and Belgium over Costa Rica, but you can't count out Costa Rica, can you? Portugal, Iran, and Senegal. Argentina, us, and give me Tunisia, please. Actually, none of these are terrible. We didn't get Uruguay or Colombia, so you know what? I feel happy. I don't know. Bosnia. That was probably the worst out of the three. That's probably the one I wanted least out of the three. Okay, Brazil, South Korea, and Egypt. And then Germany, Japan, and Tunisia. So here we go. Please, if we get England and France, this is the group of death. Like, this is a ridiculously bad group. Russia, Australia, Uruguay, and Denmark. Okay, Denmark did beat Spain to get here. That's an interesting group. Again, very similar to Group D. None of the kind of the biggest teams people expect to win, but some good teams. You know, Russia, obviously, kind of an unknown entity because they haven't been qualifying. Uruguay, also a good team. Denmark beat out Spain. So it'd be interesting. Australia obviously can put up a fight against them. Let's see then. Who's going in here? Poland. Ooh, that's a tough group. That's definitely tougher than this group. When it comes to how good the teams are. Group C then. England and France, please go. No, England and France are still in the pot. Croatia, Algeria, Saudi Arabia, Chile. Okay. Who will go against them? Please, England, France. France, oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, France, Colombia, Costa Rica, Belgium. Ooh, that's a nasty group. Which one do you think's nastier, Group B or Group D? They both look quite bad. Group E then. Please, England. No. Oh, no. Don't you dare. Okay, Switzerland, Senegal, Iran, Portugal. Okay. Okay, we won. Serbia against Bosnia. I mean, that probably wouldn't go down well. How about, let's get Ukraine. Please, Ukraine. Come on, come on, come on. Don't you dare give me England game. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? England? Really? We got all teams ranked higher than us. Out of all the teams that were there was a great chance to get some good teams. What? Brazil, South Korea, Egypt, and Ukraine. And then Serbia, Tunisia, Japan. Look at those other groups. Look at those other groups. Like, almost any other group I could have been placed in as a second team, I would have preferred. I actually would have preferred over this, I think. What a horrible group to be drawn in. I'm very upset, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get out that group. If we get out that group, that's going to be a miracle. We have to work hard, guys. Find that American spirit within inside us, and try and beat my team, England. A good, Bosnia team, and of course Lionel Messi. I don't know if we can do it, but there we go. Guys, which group do you think is the group of death? Which one's the easiest group or the hardest group? And who do you think is going to win the World Cup? Who do you think? Probably not America. I don't think we're going to make it the group stage. How far do you think we'll make it? I'd love to hear from you guys, and we'll see you then. The World Cup's coming, guys. Be there or be square. That was a why would I say that?